Welcome to Lesson 7C, Normal Shock at Unknown Location in a CD Nozzle. In this lesson, we work out a detailed example problem where flow properties are calculated through a CD nozzle as previously, but the normal shock is at an unknown location. We have the same setup as a previous example where we knew the location of the shock and we calculated the back pressure. Well, in this problem we do the reverse. We know the back pressure, it's given, but we don't know the location of the shock. So we need to calculate the location in terms of its area ratio. And we note that this area A star, the throat area, is also A star 1. And that's what we want to use for our final answer. The stagnation temperature and stagnation pressure are the same as the previous problem, and the geometry is also the same. And we note that this back pressure is also PE, the exit pressure, since the flow is subsonic downstream of the shock. This is a subsonic jet. The assumptions and approximations are also the same as previously. Ideal gas, steady, adiabatic, one-dimensional, and isentropic before and after the shock, but of course not isentropic across the shock. The solution here is that we use the same procedure as in the previous example for a known shock location, but here we iteration until PE equal the specified PE, which in this problem is 500 kPa. Now I'll go over the iteration procedure. Step 1 is to guess the location, in other words guess Mach number 1, at some area where A1 over A star 1 yields M1 from the isentropic equation for area ratio as a function of Mach number and gamma. What we're effectively doing is guessing A1 at the location of the shock. But this procedure works for any geometry, so I'm going to guess M1 instead of A1. Now we go across the shock and we calculate the stagnation pressure ratio, P02 over P01, which is a function of M1 and gamma. And that way we can calculate AE over A star 2 as the ratio of AE over A star 1 times A star 1 over A star 2. Well, this is given by the geometry, namely 3, and this is equal to P01 over P02, the reciprocal of this. So now we have AE over A star 2. Step 4 is to use the A over A star area ratio equation, which is a function of Mach number and gamma. And at this value of AE over A star 2, we calculate the exit Mach number implicitly, as we've done before. And I caution that, of course, we choose the subsonic route, since the flow downstream of the shock is subsonic, all the way to the exit plane. Now that we have ME, Step 5 is to calculate the exit pressure at this exit Mach number. We do that again through clever use of ratios. PE is PE over P02, P02 over P01, P01. This comes from the isentropic relation that we've been using all semester, since we're approximating the flow as isentropic downstream of the shock. This we've already calculated in Step 2 above. And P01 is given, 1 megapascal, or 1000 kPa. I point out that steps 2 to 5 are the same as previously when we knew the location of the shock, and in that case our goal was to calculate PE, which, as I've said, is also PB. So we've already done steps 2 through 5 in the previous example for a different case. What's different now is we have to add step 6, where we compare PE from step 5 to the given PE or PB from the problem statement. If we were really lucky and picked the correct M1 in step 1, PE would equal the specified PB and we would be done. But nobody that I know is ever that lucky. So the more likely scenario is that PE is not equal to the specified back pressure. In that case, we go back to step 1 and start all over, picking a new guess for M1. In this way, we iterate until convergence. where convergence is defined as PE equal to the specified PE, or PB, the back pressure. Now let's plug in the numbers. We have to make a first guess. I'll guess M1 equal 2.1972, which is the M1 we had for the previous example at the known shock location. So you can look back at that lesson and see that we had PE equal 584.6 kPa. But the specified PE in this problem is 500 kPa. Since these do not match, we need to iterate. Now I'll ask the students, should our new guess for M1 be greater than or less than 2.1972, the Mach number of the first guess?
Well, as PE goes down, the Mach number moves farther down the nozzle, which means the Mach number goes up. So we should pick a Mach number bigger than this one.
That's right, Joel. Since our PE is bigger than the specified PE, we need to pick a larger Mach number, one greater than 2.1972. For my second guess, I picked 2.3. I'm not going to work through all the details, but I'll highlight a few of our results. For this Mach number guess, P02 over P01, which is also A star 1 over A star 2, comes out to be 0.58329, and then AE over A star 2 is AE over A star 1, A star 1 over A star 2, where this is again specified in the problem as 3, and this we just calculated, and this turns out to be 1.7499, from which we get ME equals 0.35658 implicitly. At this exit Mach number, PE equal PE over P02, P02 over P01, P01. This comes from our isentropic relationship, 1 plus gamma minus 1 over 2 ME squared, quantity raised to the negative gamma over gamma minus 1, which we can get because we know ME and we know gamma. This we calculated up here, so we plug that into P02 over P01, and finally P01 was given as 1000 kPa. Plugging in all these values gives us PE equal 534.2 kPa. This is closer to our desired answer than our first guess, but they still don't match, so we have to keep iterating. For our further iterations, we can use trial and error, or if we want to be more clever, I suggest the false position method. We've used this many times before, but I'll set it up for you for this problem, where we guess M1 and we calculate PE in units of kPa. Guess 1 was 2.1972, where we had PE equal 584.6 kPa. The correct value is what we're trying to find, where 500 is the specified PE. But guess 2 was a Mach number M1 of 2.3, which gave us 534.2 kPa. With the false position method, we use linear interpolation to get our guess 3. For guess 3 then, M1 is 2.3 plus 500 minus 534.2, the difference between this and this, divided by 584.6 minus 534.2, the difference between the top value and the bottom value, times 2.1972, the top value, minus 2.3, the difference between these two, and we add the bottom value as our standard linear interpolation formula. We get 2.370 to 4 digits. So for guess 3, we'll set M1 to this linearly interpolated value and go through the calculations again. We get PE equal 500.4 kPa, which is very close to our required value of 500. We do a few more iterations, which I won't show here. The final answers are that M1 equal 2.3709, I'm showing 5 digits, and AS over A star 1 is 2.3397. We note that for a given CD nozzle geometry, this gives us the shock location. These calculations can get very tedious, So I used Excel. Here's my first guess and my second guess. And you could see the area ratios, Mach numbers, stagnation pressure ratios, AE over A star 2, the final ME, the final PE over P02 ratio, and PE and KPA. You can see that both 584 and 534 are bigger than our value. So this false position method works even by extrapolation, since our final answer is not in between these first two guesses, as long as they're not too far off. Here's my third guess by linear interpolation, my fourth guess, etc. And you could see that we've converged quite rapidly, in fact to machine accuracy in Excel. By our fifth guess here, we've achieved convergence. So these are our final answers. As a final comment here, in this particular case, I set the goal as 500 kPa. We could have set the goal to PE minus PE specified, or PE calculated minus 500 kPa. Then the goal approaches zero at convergence. This method would satisfy the mathematicians among us, but as engineers, it's a little easier just to look at the final pressure and see if it matches the specified pressure. In other words, it's okay to use a non-zero goal, but I usually set my goal equal to 0.
Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel for more videos.
1, 2, 3.